Well, I was born in the college town of Gainesville, Florida. My father was a Gator, actually fraternity pledge brothers with Steve Spurrier. And he met my mom, who was a Navy nurse over in the Philippines, and I was born and we moved up to North Carolina because he was stationed up there at Cherry Point. And my love for music really started with my mom in church and singing with her and her singing along. I think she was not quite as good as she thought she was, but she definitely inspired me to sing and keep me brave and build my confidence about singing. And we got stationed in Quantico, Virginia, up near Washington, D.C., and I was 6'1" by the time I was 13, and I guess it was probably the second day in school, the music teacher saw me in the cafeteria and came up to me and said, "Son, you need to play in my band." So I went to practice after school, and it all really began there, and my music teacher, Dr. Drake, was very instrumental in giving me my first opportunities at a solo performance in the spring concert, which in the 7th grade I was too nervous to do and turned down, and ended up playing bass and really enjoying that. And my buddy Danny James and Dan Metter, that lived around the corner from me, wanted to start a band. And we did it in one of the bass house's basements and called ourselves the Basement Boys. And the ironic thing was that I was the president of my middle school, so I booked us for all the school dances. I was playing on a pier one afternoon, just having some fun, hanging out, catching some rays, and drinking a cold beer, playing some guitar. And the barkeep came up and said, "Hey, why don't you come inside and play some music for me, and I'll set up a tip jar and give you a couple free beers." And I was a little nervous about it, but I thought, you know what, I might as well. I had played at a couple little open mic nights in college and at some parties in Greenville, North Carolina at ECU. And so I went inside and did it, and ended up making, I don't know, about 30 or 40 bucks. And the lady said to me, "Well, what are you doing this weekend?" And at the time I was working construction, banging nails, doing some framing there on the island. And I said, "Well, nothing, you know, I don't work on the weekends." She said, "Well, I just canceled the band, and you're gonna play this Friday and Saturday night, and I'll pay you." I went back to singing in New Bern under my original name, Bryan Mayer, and it was at that point that I started getting some notice from some of the local media outlets and some of the radio stations. I started writing some parody songs for Bob 93.3, originally for the Hot FM 96.3 and 103.7 on Crystal and Greg's morning show, playing a character called Down East Earl, which I continue to this day to still do some fun Down East Earl parody songs from time to time. But that helped me get my name out and about around town and in this community, which really helped my career kind of jumpstart as far as radio goes. And luckily, hanging around the radio station and them scratching my back and me scratching their back led me to share the stage with some really amazing artists and really cool people that I have much respect for, including Trace Adkins, Joe Nichols, Craig Morgan, the band Perry, Eli Young Band, and also my buddies Love and Theft, which really were a turning point for me in my career. I shared the stage with them with WRNS one night and did a show, and Steven, who was the inspiration behind Taylor Swift's Hey Steven, came up to me after doing my set, taking time out of his night to come and pull me aside and say, "Hey man, I hear you doing these country covers and your voice is there, you've got a strong voice, you've got a dominant presence." And he and I really hit it off. He ended up giving me a cell phone number. We ended up hanging out that night. It was shortly after that I met Tommy Garrett, who's an amazing songwriter and the programming director of WRNS, who hooked me up with his buddy Stokes Nielsen of the Lost Trailers. I had recorded my song This Is Me, which was a dedication to my father who passed away, and had done a demo version back at home, taken it out to a studio in Nashville and had some great tracks cut, but the production wasn't quite where we needed it to be for Top 40 radio.
I loved the song. I knew that it had a good hook, and I loved the image that it gave. And so what I did then was I set him up with a producer, a good friend of mine, Stokes Nielsen, with the Lost Trailers, who actually produced and co-wrote a song of mine as well. And they also loved Bryan's music. And what we did was, once he met up with Stokes, he went ahead and went to Nashville, went to the studio. Stokes Nielsen produced Bryan's song, This Is Me. And when I heard the finished product, blown away. Everything about it was great. And so I said, it's radio ready now. And once I put it on the radio, the rest, they say, is history. People connected with it. Bryan, his name, he had a good name in Eastern Carolina, but his name continued to grow. and get larger.
So now the song's getting spins, requests, and emails on WRNS. It's doing awesome. We're really stoked and excited about it. But we knew that this song was a song that needed to get out to the rest of the nation. We loved that North Carolina was behind it, WRNS was behind it, Tommy Garrett was behind it, but we needed this song to get out to other ears. So we decided to take some trips out to Nashville, and of course my manager, Sean Mitchell, was very key into getting us set up with some meetings with a bunch of different promotional teams. And of course we did a radio tour this summer in Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, here in North and South Carolina, and got the song out all across the nation. It's getting spins everywhere, and for me that's been the most exciting thing thus far with my career, and kind of kicking off from going from a musician to an artist, because being a musician is kind of starting your craft, but now that we've gotten to this point, it was about selling my music and writing my own music and working with people in Nashville that know about singer and songwriters and artists.
So I'm Tyler Kane. I'm producing Bryan Mayer's new projects. I met Bryan about 5 years ago, I'd say, when we played a show in North Carolina, and he was on the bill with us, and he had such a killer voice and sounded amazing. I was really blown away by him. And it wasn't until a few years later that I got connected with him through James Otto to record with him. And we basically got together, recorded a couple tracks, and went great. And then now we're circling back around doing some more. We're here at Ocean Way Studios in Nashville. It's a legendary recording studio. A lot of hit records are made here. And we got a killer band, plays on a lot of big records, great players, some great songs. So it's going to be really awesome. We're on our first day today. Our band tracking day went really well. And the next couple days we're going to be doing vocals and getting it mixed and bringing the music to you. So check it out.
Get a little bit naughty, throwing back jack, sipping on Crown, fireball y'all till we fall and we hit the ground running again.
Hey y'all, glad to be here at Ocean Way Studio, Music Row in Nashville with my producer Tyler Kane. Of course, we've been out here in Nashville quite a few times here recently, especially after CMA week. Got a couple new tracks we're working on, a little bit naughty, and Here Tonight, which we just started playing on the road, I guess, back this fall. And it's going really well. Had a lot of fun with these guys today. We've got Kyle, Kevin, and also Smith. Smith was on slide guitar, Kevin on drums, and Kyle on bass. These guys have great credentials, man. Kevin is the drummer for Randy Houser, and Kyle plays bass for Billy Currington. Smith's done a lot of work with a lot of different artists, and hopefully here real soon you guys will be getting some first drafts of Here Tonight and a little bit naughty.
So as a program director at WRNS, I have absolutely loved playing Bryan Mayer. Our listeners have loved hearing This Is Me, Live in Town, Long Gone Baby. The truth is, he has a bigger name out here in North Carolina than a lot of other new artists in country music. So it's great to play him right here on WRNS. And the sky's the limit for Mr. Mayer. He's got a great voice, great personality, great artist, great writer. So the sky is the limit, and I really look forward to seeing him just blossom, not only here with WRNS, but the entire country.
I'm Bryan Mayer. Thanks for taking some time to get to know me, my music, my passion, and my life. If you'd like to keep up with me more, follow me on Twitter at Bryan Mayer CMT. Go to Facebook and follow me at Bryan Mayer Music. You can also get the CMT Artist app for your Android or iPhone, or go to cmt.com, search Bryan Mayer. Hope to see you real soon.